Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, and welcome to round 3 of the Tier 3 Championship here at Amethyst Racing. We're in Imola today. We've got a short qualifying coming up before we head into a 50% race. So we shall get ourselves on the way momentarily. 32 laps around this track when we do get to the race, so it's quite a long one for the drivers overall. But here we are. Wait for the drivers to load in and start getting some people out on track. Mr. Lego Pex is hilarious. There we go. Qualifying has officially begun. We'll get ourselves our data up. So quite a packed grid today. 16 drivers. So I think qualifying here is quite an important one. So we'll see how they manage against the tyre wear around here. Manage against each other. It's been quite a strong season, quite a strong showing from the Williams outfit so far, as they are heading out first onto the track, followed by the Ferrari of Alex Bell. My apologies. So I think we'll see quite a lot of track evolution here today. But as we get going, we got the two Williams cars out onto the track first. Looks nice and clear, so it doesn't look like we're expecting any rain today. So I think the drivers are going to be quite happy. Happy to see that. Oh, there's a Ferrari running a bit wide on his outlap. Doesn't want to do that. Needs to keep his tyres in a pristine condition, or as much as possible. So we'll try and find Nathaniel Hegro, who is, I believe, last week's race winner. So we'll see what he can do. Or he might have been last week's race winner. My memory has gone for the moment, but he has been a very strong driver in this championship so far, so we'll see what he's able to do today. It is a tricky track around here, especially in these new 22 cars. So how they fare is going to be an interesting one. But we'll ride on board with him as he comes through turn 18. It was a Harris Grand Slam last week. That is correct. He won the sprint race and took the race and took pole in qualifying. So we'll see if Harris can continue that form today as Hegro begins his first flying lap. He's got a bit of traffic coming out the pit lane, doesn't want to get held up too much. Picks up a bit of slipstream very close to that Alfa Romeo. Gets through turn 1 but goes in very deep. Got a Haas in front of him which may have distracted him slightly. I think he's going to bail out of that lap. He has. So now the first driver we're going to have setting a lap is a Harris. Tier 3 adapting to the new handling. Yes, some new Coke Monsters did release a new handling model. I know it's not gone down too well on a lot of people, so we'll see. We will see how they fare with that today. But Harris is going to be the first one to settle up. He's got a tiny bit of traffic in front of him to navigate through. His teammate might be giving him a slipstream here, so this might be well played out by them. So right on board with Harris as he navigates, comes around to Aqua Minerale. Tricky uphill, you can easily get a snap of oversteer if you take too much curb. Didn't seem to be going full stem round there though, so we'll see how he navigates through the chicane. His teammate in front of him might be giving him a bit of dirty air. He takes the chicane nicely, dives out the way though, so he got a little nice slipstream on the way to the chicane. Not sure that would have done the most amount of, given him the most amount of lap time though. So he's going to round through turn 17, nicely through turn 18. We saw a lot of drivers in tier 2 struggling through turn 18. He's really on the edge of track limits there. So now Harris is going to cross the lap. He's going to set a benchmark 1:17.2. That's a nice lap to put on the board. And now he's going to give his teammate a slipstream all the way down into turn 1. Dives out the way, very out the way onto the grass. Wants to avoid the Ferrari coming through as well. But oh no, he gets right in the way. That is not ideal for him. We will say, but that was Bell, I believe, who was just finishing off his lap. Sam Palmer now goes to P2, 10th or so behind Harris in the Williams in front. Williams team players 300 IQ. Yes, they have timed it very well. I don't think it would have been that good if Hegro managed to navigate the first turns a bit nicer than he did. Best now sets a benchmark 1:16.6. He goes about 6/10 quicker than his nearest competitors. So we'll see. This track is going to ramp up once these cars get some laps on. So we'll try and find a driver out on lap. We've got everyone out on lap so far. Smith in the Red Bull. He has lost his front wing. That is very unfortunate for him. He's had a tricky time the last time he raced, I believe, was Australia. So we'll hope today goes a bit better for him. That's Zerval now into P2 with a 1:17.1, still 5/10 off of best in the AlphaTauri, sitting on provisional pole at the moment. Rory Bates comes across the line. He's been a fierce competitor so far, and he goes 1:17.5, and I think he's got a lot of time to find in that lap. So I think he'll be going. We'll see him a couple more times during this session. So Pavic and Vasilev are very close together on the timing sheets, about 7,000ths of a second apart. Well, Lightning coming into the pits, he's invalidated. Not had a good first run on those soft tyres. I think the driver's gonna have to be careful here because there is not going to be a lobby restart, so the tyres they use here are going to be the tyres they carry over into the next race. Here goes Doggett, who's invalidated on his lap. So most drivers are peeling off into the pits now. Everyone's coming in for their in laps as well. I believe Zervad is also on a slow lap, so while the track calms down for a minute, I'm sure we'll get some running once more. That looked like a car might be coming out of the pits, but no, I think they're all on their way back in. Is Alex Bell on a lap? It looked like he might have been, but he's invalidated his lap. I think that lap time, I think he's got a bit of time to find. He did get held up by the Williams at turn 1. Whether he was on lap or not, I am unsure of at the moment. But we'll wait and see who is coming out of the pit lane next. Like Zerveld, he's on for a lap now, so we'll run on board with him as we go through turn 1, 2 and 3. Nicely through there, rise the curbs well, really on the edge of track limits as he comes through turn 3. Now heads up, approaching Tosa. Gets into the apex nicely, sets a purple sector 1 as he does so. See how he navigates the rest of the lap. Coming up to Aqua Minerale here. Edge of track limits, runs a bit deep though, gets on that rumble strip on the inside. That's going to cost him a bit of time. Can't get the traction down as much as he'd like to. Through the chicane. Don't believe he set a bubble sector 2, so look to find some time in his sector 3. We saw a lot of drivers struggling at turn 18 of Ravazza in tier 2. Not able to get out that corner very nicely. So Zerval's going to round turn 18, takes the curb a bit too much, peel off into the pits. That's not a lap he's happy with. Rory Bates has set a purple sector 2, however, on his second flying lap. So we'll ride on board with him and watch him as he approaches turn 17 and 18 of Ravazza. See how he fares. Nicely through 17. Nicely through 18, not using all of the track available, but he gets the power down nicely. Let's see what he can do, and it's a 1:16.5, and he beats best to that provisional pole time by a 1/10 of a second exactly. So that is impressive from Rory Bates. I told you he had time to find in that lap, and he has. Oh, and he does the little strategy to get back to the pit lane a bit quicker by running across turn 1. We'll leave him to his activities, and we'll try and find another driver on lap. As Will Lightning has begun his lap, so as he heads through turn 3 now, the Variante Tamarello approaching Tosa now is sector 1 at 24.7. That is a decent time from the Alfa Romeo driver. Let's see how he fares in sector 2 and 3. He's struggled at the beginning of this season in Tier 3, so I think he'll be hoping to claw his way up a few championship positions and boost Alfa Romeo's position in the constructors. Got a yellow flag. I believe that's just for drivers diving out the way. Will Lightning set to purple sector 2 now. So just as we saw in Tier 2, they're trading times with each other in that sector 2, trading purple sectors. I think if you can get the power down at Aqua Minerale nicely, then you're going to have a nice run up to the fast approaching chicane. So we will stick on board with him as he comes across the line. It's going to be 1:17.3, and he puts himself into P5. I think Will Lightning's going to be happy with that lap, but I think he's still got time to find in it. Or try and find someone else. Sam Palmer not faring too well on his lap either. Nathaniel Hegro, 11 seconds up on his lap. He didn't have a great time through sector 1 the last time we saw him through there, so we'll hope he can improve. So he comes up to Tosa through there nicely. He's got an Alfa Romeo ahead of him to navigate though, so we'll hope that doesn't hold him up too much on this flying lap. Ooh, and he has his red light on, so I don't think this lap is going to be very representative. Vickery, ooh, very close to the Aston Martin of, I believe that's Masic. He's reserving for Aston Martin today. Let's see what he can do. He had a strong showing in Miami. I think that race wasn't the luckiest for him, but he did show some great pace at times. So we'll ride on board with him as he goes through turn 7, gets the power down neatly. Got a yellow flag for, I believe that's Dogger, who's gone for a spin. Actually, after turn 3, that looks like. Aston Martin bias, not a chance, but he has invalidated Masic on his flying lap, so he's not going to be finding any time there. Sam Palmer's not improved, he's nearly 2 seconds down in sector 3. This is an in lap though. Will Lightning also on an in lap. Harris is pushing, and he's about 500ths off his best lap. Rides the curve quite heavily through there, and is 2,000ths up on his lap at the moment through sector 2. So I think we're going to be finding a bit more time than that. Although there are razor thin margins here, but those 2,000ths of the second aren't going to push him up the order any at this rate. So we'll see what he can do as he comes out of Rabatza, turn 18, gets the power down nicely. He's going to open up the DRS now. He's going to come across the line, and it's going to be 1:16.8, so it was actually quite a good lap. He found 3/10 in that lap and sets a purple sector 3 as he does so. So that puts him into P3 as 16.8. Not quite fast enough to match Bates' time though. So he might be going again here, but we'll catch up with him in a bit. Will Lightning going to peel into the pits, or is he going to stay out and go for a flying lap, see what he can do? He is going to peel into the pits. So we'll see. Ooh, Noah Masic running across that, across those outside rumble strips at Aqua Minerale. That's not going to do the underbody any good. Race is supposedly going to be intermediate. Ah, how fun. How fun. So, we'll see who is on lap. I believe this is Pavic going for a lap. Yes, he is. Right on board with him as he goes through turns 5, 6, approaches 7 of Toso. Hits the apex nicely, gets some good rotation through there, gets the power down. He's going to power his way up to Piratella. Nicely through there, not using all of the track available. Flat through Aqua Minerale and invalidates on that outside white line. So that is unfortunate for him. That lap could have pushed him up the order, which I'm sure he'll be wanting to do down in P13. Luke Martin hasn't actually set a lap yet, with only 4 minutes in the session to go. I think he might have 1 lap. So the stakes are high for him. We're seeing the drivers start to peel out the pits again now to set some more laps. Alex Bell is on lap. He's going to want to improve from that P15. He had an unlucky time in Miami. So Aqua Minerale not getting the power down as quickly as he might like to. But he's a 2/10 down through the second sector, so this lap doesn't look like it's gonna be blitzing the timing sheets. He's a couple seconds off the pace at the moment, so I'm sure there's a bit of time to find in this lap. Bates coming out for his outlap now, trying to solidify that provisional pole position which he currently holds. Bell peels off into the pits. Pavic is invalidated his lap. That is unfortunate for him. Who else have we got? A couple drivers coming out for outlaps. Nathaniel Hegross just started another lap. He's hit a 1:17.5. He's down in P8, so he's 5 positions off his teammate in P3. Harris is done a 16.8. So he's got about 7 tenths to find before he can match his teammates. So we'll see what he can do. He has been a strong driver. The Williams suit has been strong. We've got a yellow flag, and that's for a Mercedes, and that's Luke Martin. He's not got much time, and he hasn't set a lap just as of yet. So we'll hope that he does have enough time to get around the track. He keeps out of the way of Hegro, who's fast approaching. Hegro is 2 tenths up on his lap, so at the moment that would put him maybe around Will Lightning, P and P6. We'll see how he navigates through Aqua Minerale. He takes the curb nicely, gets the power down without any snaps, and he sets his 800th up through the middle sector. Rides the chicane nicely. Comes through turn 16 into this downhill braking zone of turn 17, gets the car rotated nicely, uses all of the track limits into Ravatza turn 18, stretching the track limits again, and he's going to come across, open up the DRS, and he's going to set a 1:17.3. That puts him into P8, so he didn't improve as much as he would have liked to. He only found about 2 tenths on that lap, but it does look like he has just about enough time to get round and set another lap. Sam Palmer's just beginning his lap. We'll catch up with him a bit later on. Will Lightning going through Aqua Minerale is a 10th up on his lap at the moment, so we'll ride on board with him. See, he sets a purple sector 2, so things are looking up for him at the moment. So we'll ride on board with him as he comes to turn 16 about now. This little king approaches turn 16 into the downhill braking zone, approaching turn 17. Doesn't want to lock up the tyres through turn 17. All the way on the track limits, rides that curb at turn 18 a bit too much. I'm sure he's not going to be wanting to do that too much, but he comes up to the line and he's going to set a 1:16.9, so that puts him into P4 actually. So he's improved by 2 positions as it stands. So I think he's going to be happy with that lap for the moment. He might have just enough time to get around. Cuts the first corner. Rory Bates improves to a 1:16.3. That puts himself 3 tenths ahead of Kelsey Best, who is behind him. Let's see how Best is faring on his lap. Oh, and he invalidates, or he had invalidated, and he was a 10th up, 10th and a half up even. So, imagine we had a snap group. Maybe not, but I think we've got enough carnage so far, especially in these lobbies. But Best is going to be pushing now to try and get around to the finish line. And see what he can set. If he gets enough time to get another lap in and has enough fuel on him. But we'll check in, see how other drivers are faring. Sam Palmer is down in P7, but it's not the worst lap, and I think he's going again. So let's hope he can improve. Hegro comes into the pits. I think that's his qualifying session over. It's not been the best for him. This is a tricky track for a lot of drivers. Vickery running off the track at Aqua Minerale there, wants to stay out of the way of the approaching Haas of Vasilev, who's on his outlap, but he needs to be careful. He's only got 30 seconds to get across the line. Luke Martin, it's not been a good day for him, but he has managed to settle a time of 17.832, so he's got himself out of that P16 position, but he's invalidated, and I don't think he's got enough time to get across the line, so that's going to be his qualifying over. He's got a McLaren behind him of, I believe that is, it's Dogger. Dogger is really down on his lap though, so I don't think there's much need for him to push with only 3 seconds left. Pavic hasn't managed to get around in time, so let's see. Kelsey Best did manage to get to the finish line, so we'll run aboard with him for this lap and see what he can do, see if he can improve enough to find or match or improve on Rory Bates this time. Harris is invalidated. Will Lightning is on lap at the moment. Let's just see how he's going. He's been strong through sector 2. Gets through Aqua Minerale nicely. It's a 10th down though, so I don't think this lap's going to go anywhere. He really rides over that curb and gets a massive snap of oversteer as he does so. but we'll find Best again because he's not improving. As he goes to turn 17, Ravats to turn 18, gets the power down, but it gets a big snap. I don't think this lap is going to be improved by a massive amount. Let's see. No, he doesn't manage to improve. He misses out by 500ths of a second, so that looks like it's going to be Rory Bates on for pole position unless anyone can displace him. Harris can't. He's invalidated. Vasilev is 6 tenths down. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Zerveld can't improve, so this is going to be Rory Bates on pole position for the Imola Grand Prix, followed by Best, followed by Harris, Will Lining, Vasilev, Zerveld, Palmer, Hegro, Vicari, sorry, Luke Martin, Duckett, Masic, Dogger, Pavic, Smith and Bell, and that gives us our qualifying lineup, our grid lineup for the 50% race coming up in a moment's time. There he is by 0.3 of a second. He looks pretty unbeatable in today's qualifying session. Kelsey Best is also had a very strong showing, but it just wasn't enough to top the Aston Martin driver, who's been strong this season and has unfortunately made a couple of mistakes in races that have cost him some points. But if he can keep his head together in this race, I'm sure he'll be on for a very nice finishing position. So we will wait, and there we have it. So it was Bates, followed by Best, followed by Harris, followed by Lightning and Vasilev, who make up the top 5. It's a Haas 5-6. Haas and Williams so far have had a decent duel, especially fighting at the moment. In the constructors, the two trading off. I think Haas have had a few 3-4s or 2-3s as a team, so it's going nicely for them. And we'll wait for the session to be continued. But if anyone wants to put their suggestions in chat of who they think is going to come out as a winner, feel free to. But of course, we don't know how these races are going to end up. I think it's also worth. Oh, it is a wet race, and somebody has redeemed hydrate. I'm going to momentarily grab a bottle of water. I don't know if you heard the hydrate, but I have hydrated. Thank you for that. Anyone's race at this point. I would happen to agree with that. In the wet, nobody knows what happens. And another hydrate. I don't have that much water, but there we go. Thank you. Wet equals bad. It does. Not a fan of the wet races. There's another one. Yep. So that's 3. There we go. But as we go onto the grid, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. 5 lights, and away we go. Duckett picks up a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. But Rory Bates has gotten away nicely, but it looks like Harris behind him got a really nice start as well. We will see if anyone makes a move. No. Best is going to get into turn 1 as well nicely, so it's Bates followed by Best, and Vasilev making up positions at the start as well, but he's been spun around and he's down at the back of the grid, and Rory Bates is now into P3. Luke Martin retires from the session, and we have is that a virtual safety car? I believe it is, yes. I didn't see what happened there, but Rory Bates is now down into 3rd, Best is in 1st, and Harris is in 2nd, so had a bit of a reversal. So we'll see what happens, but unfortunately for Vasilev, who got a really good start, he's down into P14. Not ideal for him. Luke Martin is out of the session. Bell hasn't managed to make up any places, but let's see. We do have a full-on safety car now, which I have to say is isn't the most surprising thing. So, for position change at the moment, Duckett has managed to get up 5 places, but he's got a drive-through penalty. He's not going to be too happy. Will Lightning to retain his 4th position, so that's good for him. He's got space to work with there. I don't know if we're going to see the session come into slick tyres later, or if we're going to have this persistent rain throughout. Haas can't catch a break. Doesn't seem so at the current moment. Zerveld's dropped 3 positions as well. Hegro's managed to maintain position in P8. Vickery's up 2 positions. Palmer's up 2 positions. But I think our biggest losers here are Haas and Rory Bates. But I think Rory's catastrophe. Yep. Can there be a restart? Unfortunately, unless a vote is called and we get a majority number of team principals to agree to it, there won't be a restart. As we pass the first lap as well without 3
Jolly.
DNFs. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello there.
I don't want to talk about that.
Do you want to give us some information on what happened, or would you
Well,
prefer not to?
I ran around the outside of the Red Bull, and as I'm taking the second corner, the Red Bull just takes my front off clean, and then an Aston Martin just drives into my front wheel and kills me. So,
Well, that sounds like it's gone well for you. But
I mean,
I don't suppose there's going to be any hint of a restart, is there?
I'm the only one out, so there won't be a restart. It's just it feels a bit sucky. I had a purposely did qualifying on a wet setup, and then
Oh,
Vicari
okay.
Vicari
see.
snaps my Vicari took my front clean off because he just didn't get good traction out of the first corner, or turn 2 technically, and I'm the one who has to pay for it because he just drives through me. So I'm gonna go get the ticket ready.
I don't blame you. But we've got a safety car now. I don't think it's going to be in this lap because Smith hasn't had the best restart,
Have
nor
a
has
good
Bell.
one.
Pardon?
Have a good one.
And you, unlucky today. But
Someone's paying for my fees.
someone, I'm sure will. But I think we'll have another lap of safety car here to let the Ferrari and the Red Bull catch up. Luke, while you're here, I don't suppose there was any hint of it drying up this race. I believe he's departed us. That is unfortunate and makes me look like a bit of a crazy one. But I think we'll all hope for a bit of dry running this race on the slicks. Otherwise, I think we're in for a few more safety cars. Oh, Harris is running a bit wide there in the background. So Best, he managed to get a good start. He held P2, and then I think Roy Bates must have had a snap of oversteer, or had a bit of a fumble through turn 2 and 3. So he has lost 2 positions. Let's have a look. Bates, they're all on the inters at the moment. So I can't see, it does look a tiny bit drier, but I think that sort of speculation might give us a bit of false hope, which I don't think any of us want at the moment. So we will wait for the moment. We'll ride on board with the AlphaTauri and hope for the message from race control. I believe we might have it, but oh no, Best just was creating a gap to the safety car, and there it is. So we will have safety car in this lap. Track has gone green, no overtaking as of yet though until we reach the safety car line. So Best, it's going to be entrusted to him to lead the grid away. How much does he back up the pack, and how well is he going to get his tyres into a good operating window? Drivers want to make sure not to hit each other here. But has Best gone early? He hasn't. He looked to maybe dummy Harris in the Williams. Bates is going to want to close up. He's a tad off, but he's there now. Best goes early, but I think Harris was right there with him, and he's seen the reaction time, so he's going to be all over the back of him. I don't think he's close enough to maybe look for a move, but he is closing up to the AlphaTauri, not into turn 1 though. So I think this race is going to require a fair bit of patience. Will Lightning hasn't had the best start, and oh, Harris looks to get a snap of oversteer through turn 2, and is that going to invite Rory Bates to have a look? No, it isn't. Bates was a bit further off. A lovely helicopter shot from here. Best has maintained that gap, is hovering about 8/10 of a second over Harris, but doesn't get a nice run through Tosis, so that's allowed him to claim back some time. Rory Bates is falling off the back of these two front runners, maybe struggling in these wet conditions at the moment. Maybe the dry was more favourable for him, but the AlphaTauri and the Williams are pulling away somewhat. I think Bates is going to hope for those two to fight. Maybe a mistake made from one of these drivers. These conditions are tricky to make his move. Harris ran over the outside rumble strips at Aqua Minerale, and that's cost him a bit of time on this lap. So we shall see. I think Will Lightning's probably going to be looking to exploit any mistakes that he sees from the back of Rory Bates. Is that a pile up at the back? It is. There's a lot of stop cars there. Zervel's been caught up in that. So has Smith, Bell, Vasilev looked to have been caught up in that as well. So was Masic. We've got another safety car. That is not what I was, not what any of us were hoping for. That is Hegro. Lost his front wing. Not ideal for us at the moment. Is anyone going to peel off into the pits? I don't think they will, other than people with damage. Someone does call it Vicari, and that looks to be a front wing replacement. Hegro lost his front wing in an accident that we unfortunately didn't catch. So, calls to take safety car to reduced. I think that will be a vote happening amongst the drivers soon, because I think we'd all like to see a bit more racing. Look to be a overtake under safety car back there from Smith and Zerveld. Maybe in an unfortunate spin, but unfortunately we're stuck behind safety car for another lap or two. So we'll have a rundown of tyres, see if anyone has decided to go onto wets. No, they haven't. They've gone back onto the inters. I don't think this rain looks like it's going to stop anytime soon. So for now, it remains basically the same. Bell has made up a load of positions, however. So has Smith. I think maybe they managed to avoid that carnage we saw here at the the chicane where the safety car is coming up to. I believe that's the Variante Alta. Don't quote me on that. But we will have what looks like one more lap to allow Vicari and Hegro to catch up to the rest of the pack. Vicari picks up a 3-second penalty for track limit warnings under the safety car, which is strange, but it's not going to do his race any good. It's gone from looking in quite good shape to a disappointment for the Red Bull driver. Both Red Bulls not having the best of times at the moment. However, Smith is making the best of a bad situation. He's up into P11, one position away from the points. So see what he can do. And now is into the points as Bell decides to come into the pits. Let's see why that might be. Did he pick up damage? He did. He's going to pick up a new front wing and another set of brand new intermediates. So we'll see what happens. Hegro also comes into the pit lane again to serve a penalty. It looks like maybe to get that off his of his counter, so he can drive without the attachment of a penalty. But let's catch up with the rest of the field again. So Will Lightning has managed to retain his place in P4. I think he'll be quite happy if he could finish there. I think he'll obviously be wanting to move forward and make steps. Maybe have a fight with Rory Bates. I think Best and Harris showed some really good pace in the half a lap of running we did have. But whether that pans out into the long term, we'll have to wait and see. So unless the two behind can catch up, we unfortunately might be having another lap of safety car, which is looking more and more likely at the moment. God knows what increased safety car is like. Let's maybe avoid that subject conversation. There's a McLaren running very wide in the background there. I don't know if that was a little bit of desync or something, but you know, as desync is back in this game. Thank you, Codemasters. You work wonders on everything. A splash of EA doesn't look like it's helped anything either. So we are going to have another lap of safety car here. That is unfortunate for us. Car second penalty for a collision with Zerbo ahead. Not going to be the best thing for him. But we will wait and see what happens with that. Vicari now goes into the pits. Oh lordy, let's hope it does come in this lap, as I don't think the drivers nor myself could bear another lap under safety car. Although under these wet conditions, it might be a bit nicer for them to experience a bit of controlled running instead of a chaotic race. How did Vicari get a penalty colliding with the car 2 positions ahead? Codemasters. That's how. So it's unfortunate for him. I think he's probably served that penalty in the pit lane now. So whether that, don't think that could get removed if he has. We'll check the penalty rundown. I think Vicari only has a 3-second for that track limits, which is also subject to change. But we will see if he catches up or if the safety car is just going to go in this lap. It's a shame we can't ride on board with the safety car. I think it would be a nice addition to the game. Have a look at all the cars filing in behind. But I think there is a potential for the safety car to come in now, even though Vicari hasn't caught up. Vicari, sorry. It is. So Vicari is not going to get the chance to catch up to the grid unless Best backs up the pack as much as he can, which is looking less and less likely. So I think he's made a bargain and it hasn't paid off for him there. But we'll have a look and see when Best calls it. Has he called it? He looked to have called it very early, and Harris dropped off quite significantly there. So well, Duckett picks up a penalty for a collision with Zerbo ahead. So when does Best go for it? I believe he has gone now, and he's caught Harris napping slightly more than he did before, and Will Lightning is very close to Rory Bates. He looked to almost be alongside. He's got Sam Palmer very close. Pavic is also very close to the back of Palmer. But they all file in the same order. Palmer's all over the back of that Alfa Romeo. Let's see if he's able to make a move. The track does look to be drying up just ever so slightly, but I wouldn't bargain on it. And he runs very wide, and that's going to allow Dogger through. So that is a shame for Palmer. Bit of an opportunistic move, and it hasn't paid off for him there. But once again, we've seen Bates. He's fallen off the back of the front two. I just don't think he has the pace in the wet. We've got Pavic and Vasilev having a fight into Piratella side by side in the wet. That is very brave. Vasilev runs wide, but he comes back onto the track and makes up 2 positions from that. The Red Bull Smith managed to get through. He's down to P8, but I don't know if Vasilev's going to be allowed to keep that position. He did overtake off track. No, it looks like he's let them through, but also let through his teammates. Oh, and they make a bit of contact there, and he's sent across the gravel. We want to be careful not to pick up a penalty for that. But now we'll see what Dogger's pace has been like. He's been a fierce competitor so far. We've got a yellow flag. That looks like Bell. Not having the best of days today, but he gets going again. It's Dogger all over the back of William Lightning now, so we'll see. He hasn't managed to get a great exit out of Ravazza in turn 18. So maybe next time round or in a few corners time, I think the drivers will be merely looking for a mistake to exploit. Oh no, that looked like a bit of a move. Maybe a bit of camera angle tricks. Masic has managed to claw his way into P7 as well, so improving on his qualifying position. So the rain is still falling here. It looks a tad drier, but I think it's going to be Inters for the foreseeable future. So Bates, yeah, I think I was right in my assumption that I don't think he has just enough pace to match the front two. Unless they start fighting and slowing each other down, it will allow him to creep back in. But Will Lightning similarly has dropped off a second to Rory Bates ahead, or just hovering about the second. Anything can still happen though. Yes, anything can happen in a wet race. I think assumptions are a bit silly to make. But we'll see who is close. Vasilev is very close to Vicari and Hegro up ahead. I think he's been a fierce competitor, have been throughout this season. But we'll see how this pans out. They're all starting to spread out from each other now. Just Hegro is close to the back of Zerveld. Haas is not enjoying their time here. They've had strong showings at both Miami and Australia. Sorry. So Imola is a tricky track for a lot of drivers. As Hegro is really pushing, maybe using his ERS to close up to the back of the Haas. He's not going to go for a move this time around, but is look close enough to do it. We've got a train of the Ferrari of Palmer, Masic and Smith forming. These two in a bit of a three-way battle to claim maybe P6. This might allow Pavic to creep in. But we'll see. Best is now pulled away from Harris. He's got nearly a 2-second lead over the Williams driver. Bates is also creeping back into that Williams driver's 1 second mark. Smith picks up a 3-second penalty. He comes very wide through Piratella. And he's going to drop off the back of that train. I think that's going to allow Pavic to close up slightly to the back of him. Will Lightning is also finding some time to the back of Rory Bates. I think if he did want to make a move, we can see some strong ERS. I think both Rory and Will Lightning are both strong on ERS. Dogger is a lot lower on ERS, conversely to the two in front, so I think he's pushing. He looks like he's had a bit of a moment because he lost 2.5 seconds to the Alfa Romeo in front. And he was close a couple moments ago. He's got the Ferrari Palmer behind him. He might be looking to make a move and take that P5 position. But they are starting to spread out. Vasilev is very close to the back of Vicari. So is he going to look to make a move into turn 1? That's right on board, very close. Ooh, bit of wheel banging. And he's got Alex Bell on the outside, and they're going to go 3 wide into turn 1 almost. Vasilev is sent off the track. The Red Bull Vicari goes off the track as well, and Bell just bails out of it at the last second. But that is not a sight you see in the dry, let alone the wet here. So committed from those 3 drivers, and they managed to pull it off. But Harris is close back up to Bell. He's back within half a second gap, so he's managed to find a second. Maybe Bess has had a moment somewhere in this lap. Bates has really fallen off the back of them now. He's got a 2.5 second gap, so I think he's going to be holding on to P3 for the rest of this race, it looks like. But I think Bess just has the edge. Vicari, these 3 are still going at it. So Vasilev and Vicari both not willing to sit there in that in those P13 and P14. They want to claw their way back into the points, but I don't think fighting with each other this hard is gonna help them at all. And Smith peels off into the pits. Might need a front wing replacement. So that is unfortunate for him. He was running in the points, but it hasn't been a great race for him so far. Yep, or no, just maybe another set of intermediates. We're not too sure what happened with him there. But Will Lightning is now a lot closer to Rory Bates than we've seen in the past few laps. So let's ride on board with Will. See how he manages to try and close up to the back of Rory. He's got the dry line ahead of him, or the somewhat dry line, as Rory, as Bates sort of digs that in the track for him. So maybe small advantage there. Vasilev and Vicari are still going at it with one another through Tosa. I can't keep watching it as we've got action going on all up and down the field here. On Hegro, maybe having a look at Pavic, who's struggling through Minerale. Slides everywhere. That car's looking very difficult to control. Consistency is going to win the race here today. It looks like, or it's going to give you the positions that you need. Got to avoid the mistakes that are going to cost you time and positions. This track's already difficult to overtake at, so in the wet, it's anyone's guess. So props to these drivers for getting on with it, should we say? But Harris is back within that second mark, or just hovering within that second mark of best ahead. We get this lovely, beautiful helicopter shot from above. Can't speak. And we've got what looks like a three-way battle there. Hegro hasn't come off too well, and Pavic is now ahead of Zerveld. The three of them are having a small battle for the points positions. We'll have a ride on board of them. Thinning out just slightly, but Will Lightning is all over the back of the Rory Bates at the moment, and is he going to have to go into Rabatza? Turn 16, 17 through 17 isn't quite close enough. But he's a lot closer than he has been. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3, but is it cleared up? No, it hasn't. That's a Haas who's been spun round. Let's hope that doesn't cause any problems. It was Zerveld, it looked like. Nope. My apologies, a bit distracted. But Harrison Best now running a lot closer than we've seen them for a while. Interview Collett? I'm not 100% sure of that at the moment. But we shall see. So I think it's going to be up to Harris now to try and hold on to the back of that AlphaTauri. Maybe make a move. Use of ERS, you might be able to sneak past and make a move into turn 1. We've got Bates and Lightning. That battle's also starting to heat up. I think Will's managed to find his groove. The rain is picking up again, so it looks a lot heavier than when we started. So I don't know if we can see a shift to full wets here. It's looking a bit unlikely, but I'd never say never in a wet race. Further down the grid, we've got that pack at the back, a three-way fight going on. We'll check in with that in a moment. Can we see tyre age? Yes, we can. So the top 8, all on 14 lap old tyres, haven't come into the pits just yet. No need to. Hegro is on 9 lap old intermediate, so he's pitted, but I think with the help of safety cars, has managed to claw his way into the points. So we'll see if Harris can do anything to close up to the back of Best. He's just dropped out of that second again. Can Will Lightning do anything to close up to the back of Bates? Likewise. He is a lot closer though. He's 4 tenths away. Not as strong through that Variante Alta. So I think he's going to have to rely on a good exit out of turn 17 and 18 to try and get past the Aston Martin ahead. Ooh, gets a big slide through turn 18, and that's going to cost him a lot of time there, and he's going to drop a long way back, and he's now almost a second and a half away from the Aston Martin in front. Vicari not his day today. We'll have a look at the penalties. He's got 6 seconds now. Zuckert has 5, Hegro with 3, Dogger with 3, and Smith with 3. Smith, who's visited the pits, is now unfortunately at the back. Dogger, however, is doing the best so far. He's made up 8 positions, coming from P13 on the grid. So it's been a strong drive from him. We'll hope he can climb his way back up a bit further up the grid. We've got is that Pavic into the pits? Is that Zerveld as well? Let's see. He's on the full wets. I did say it was getting wetter, so are they going to make a pit for full wets? And are we going to see some strategy coming into play here? So it finally does start sprucing itself up. So let's see what the drivers do. It does look a lot heavier than it was, and I think the drivers are going to struggle if there is full wet conditions now. So we will wait and see. So we've got Pavic is the only one on the full wets. Maybe that was a... maybe that was designed by him, maybe his engineers telling him to pit for full wets, but Zerbad wanted to brand new intermediates, so I think if he has good pace, we might see a couple pit stops from the leaders or those around him. We'll see if anyone does peel into the pits. Bates doesn't, Harris hasn't, Best hasn't, Lightning hasn't, so maybe maybe a bit too early for Pavic. Maybe it isn't the right time to go into the pits. But we'll wait and see if anyone responds. Dogar is now into the pit lane, so is it time for those inters? Masic is now in the pit lane as well. So are we going to see a bit of strategy? He's on the full wet, so I think we have reached a crossover point now. Bell leaving the session. I think that's unfortunate. He's disconnected. But we've now got 3 drivers on the full wets. Ducker picks up a 3-second penalty. That's probably I think that takes him to about 8 seconds. Vicari now also in the pits. He's going onto the full wets. So let's see when our leaders call it and who decides to call it first. I think Bates and Lightning have unfortunately really dropped off the back. He's now 5 seconds off the leaders, off the front 2. But 4 drivers now on the wets. 5, they're starting to pop up everywhere. So it's going to be a game of strategy in the pit lane. And as we saw in the Tier 2 race with Skowski and Chappers, I think it was. These new pit stops with the mechanics built in to do a manual turn in. There might be a little change of lead if Harris can have a much better pit stop than Best when the 2 decide to call it. If they don't go in this lap, maybe it's worth Bates going in early and seeing if it's worth him pitting. But they stayed out, so is Bates. Lightning stays out. Is Palmer going to stay out as well? Might be on the crossover point, but it looks really wet. Palmer's now into the pits, so that looks like it's going to be cool. Ooh, he speeds into the pit lane, picks up a 5-second penalty. So is this going to be full wets for him? He gets passed by Heger and Vasilev, who haven't come into the pits just yet. No, it's intermediates, which is a bit strange. You would have thought with all these safety cars you wouldn't need to box for new tyres. Might have been a mistake. Can we see fastest laps? Yes, we can. So pretty even amongst the top 3. Bates' fastest lap is in fact faster than Harris. So I think his consistency is sort of letting him down at the moment. But I will switch back to our tyre screen as I think we'd like to see how these wet runners are getting on. Let's ride on board with Dogar, who seems to have some good pace. He's now on the wet tyres. Just wondering how he's going to get on with these. So he's been on them for a lap. I think, looking at it, it might still be intermediate conditions. Yes, it is. Palmer has just put on some brand new intermediates. Is also gaining on him, and he's not really closing up to the back of Vasilev. Oh no, but Best is into the pit lane. So is Harris. Is Bates going to follow them in as well? Follow suit, or is he going to stay out? No, he comes out. Harris picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So let's see. He puts on the full wets, does Best. Harris now puts on a set of intermediates. So this is interesting. So they're on two different completely different strategies now. Rory Bates on the wet tyres as well. Will Lightning's in the pits as well. He's putting on a set of inters. So we've got a real mix up and down the grid. So we have Duckett and Heger and Vasilev now leading this race. Whether they decide to box again, we are not sure of. But Best, who was in the lead comfortably. Let's see if he has some good pace on these wets, and if it is wet conditions now, in which case we'll have seen Harris and Will Lightning made the wrong call. Let's watch to see. I know these tyres will take a bit of time to warm up, so we'll switch back to Dogar. Oh, Dogar, and he's just been sent for a spin. Maybe it's not time for the wet tyres. He might have called it a tad too early, or right on the crossover point. Rory Bates is now also running the wet tyres. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. It's cleared up very quickly. I think it was one of the McLaren drivers there. We've got Masic and Palmer. Wet tyres versus intermediate tyres. So I think this is going to be quite a good matchup. Oh no, but let's switch back actually to Best and Harris. I don't think it's wet tyres actually. Despite them all pitting, maybe their engineers in the game telling them to, I think the intermediates still have a bit more pace. Vasilev is now on the pits. So what tyre is he going to choose? Or is he already stopped? No, he hasn't. There's his pit box coming up. It's going to be another set of intermediates. Masic now picking up a 3-second penalty. It's unfortunate for him. Yeah, I think looking at Bates' onboard, I think it's still intermediates. It doesn't look wet enough for it to be full wets, and it looks like the rain looks to be stopping. Could we see maybe a lap or two of slick running? Maybe someone's brave enough to do a Sebastian Vettel at Turkey in 2021 and try it. But I think they might rather protect their cars and not cause the team any more costs. But Harris is now very close to the back of Kelsey Best, who's on the wet tyres. So this wet intermediate matchup, it's really mixed up and down the grid. So we will see who has the better pace. Harris very cautiously through that chicane, doesn't want to touch those big curbs that do stick out quite a long way and can really off-put your car. Offset, sorry. I think it is intermediate conditions. We have a spun Red Bull. That's unfortunately Smith, who's not having the best of times today. Maybe the in-game engineer has not adapted to the new handling model. It is probably likely that might have happened, but I think the rain did look to be picking up for a second. So maybe their engineers were saying it was on the crossover, and if it was getting worse, maybe they would have called it a bit too early. Maybe staying out just a bit longer might have been more beneficial. Vicari and Zervold going at their battle again. They're side by side with turn 16 coming into Rabat. So this is intermediates versus wets. Let's see how they fare side by side, nice and cleanly through turn 17, through 18. Zervold just shoves Vicari off the track and they make contact. Zervold somehow isn't spun, and now he's spun, and he's in the barrier, and that's going to be a safety car right there. He is on the racing line. And there we have it. That was a bit cheeky from Vicari, and I think it's going to be a penalty for him, that one. Quite a substantial one. That did look very dangerous. I think Bell's going to want to be careful to navigate past Vicari. Oh, his car's been picked up off the racing line quite quickly, which I'd say is good for us. But surprisingly, we've got Duckett now leading, followed by Hedgrove, followed by Harris, and Best in P4. Bates now on the wets as oh wait, Best has lost out to Harris. So I think that incident between Zervold and Vicari is going to be investigated. I don't think either team's going to be too happy with that. So Duckett now leads in the Alfa Romeo. He's going to peel off into the pits, followed by Harris. I think Hedgrove, sorry. Harris is going to stay out. Kelsey Best is going to come into the pit, so maybe he's going to fit the intermediates. Didn't think it was time for those wet tyres. Bates in the pit as well. He is. Will Lightning is going to stay out. So I think if you chose the Inters a while ago, I think you might have pulled out a stroke of genius. Yeah, there are. Best is onto the Inters again. Bates is onto the Inters again. Yeah, I think they called it a bit too early, and the rain started to lighten up a bit. Haas and Red Bull fight. Maybe heating up a bit too much, so I'll definitely be reviewed after the race is finished. But we got 10 laps now. We'll have a couple laps under safety car while the grid closes and bunches itself up together once again. But for now, it's Harris, followed by Lightning, followed by Duckett, who's boxed and is now in P3. Unfortunately, he does have penalties which would drop him down the order. But I think in terms of in terms of helping out his teammate just to maybe solidify a P2 and give him an opportunity to fight Harris. He could be very instrumental and very key to Alfa Romeo's plan here. That is Smith diving out of the way of the Alfa Romeo. Trying to avoid other cars. Oh no, but I think... Oh, that is a massive collision there. Best is out! Best is out! Oh, that is disaster. I think it's Smith was trying to let them pass and someone got an illegal overtake. That is disaster for the AlphaTauri suit. Best was running in P1 for most of this race and he's now out of the race. What on earth has happened there? Someone wasn't able to react in time, so now Best is out. Disaster for the AlphaTauri suit. What the... That is a bit of a problem. I think the Red Bull was trying to let some cars through, and then I think the game isn't smart enough to understand that they're trying to let backmarkers through, and someone got an illegal overtake. Heger is now into the pits. Palmer and Vasilev have stopped on track for some reason. I think there might be a few safety car problems. Thank you, Codemasters. Vicari picks up another 3-second penalty. He doesn't want to pick up too many more of those. I don't know what's happened with these three here. They're going really slowly. Yeah, you're right, Rasmussen. Alfa Romeo are doing very well despite some other people's troubles. They are doing well. Bella's now got a 5-second penalty. The only driver still on wets out there, so unfortunate for him. But he's gonna have to make the best of a bad situation. He is running in the points though, so not all hope is lost. Drivers are getting really slow deltas. That is the McLaren outfit. Dogger and Pavic. But right now, Alfa Romeo are looking very nice in the standings, and I think Duckett with his penalties is going to be on the blower to Lightning on their team radio, and he's going to be saying hold them up as much as possible. You can have that 10 car length gap, and if you want to create that, I think that's going to give Lightning a massive benefit down this straight. So Harris now leads. He hasn't had the pace though to keep up with Best when he was in the race. I think Best was pipping him. How to screw his TP the most? No, never. How to help his TP. I think Duck is unfortunately. Let's take a look at penalties to see where he would be at the moment. If we put it on gap to leader, Duck actually only has 3 seconds of penalties, so maybe if Duckett can act as a bit of a block, but still try and maintain that P3. It's not off the cards. Rory Bates is in P4, so but we know he doesn't have that much pace. But I think him and Duckett might be an interesting battle. I know there was a bit of contract battle between the two of them, trying to sort out which team Duckett would go to. I think he was pipped out by Alfa Romeo at the last moment, so maybe a few hard feelings there between Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo. But I'm sure that won't be in Bates's mind at the moment. I think he'll be focused on maybe trying to get a podium. But Harris, unfortunately, as it stands, would be put down into... I can't quite tell where. He'd be down in P7 with his 5-second penalty. P6, sorry. So, not ideal for him at all. That was a speeding into the pit lane penalty. So, safety car in this lap. So we get to go racing again, and now it's up to Harris to lead them away. Duckett picks up a 5-second penalty for a crash with his teammate. Oh lord, that's not gonna be too Will Lightning too happy. So Duckett collides with his teammate as they go as the safety car. Oh, they hit again! Oh no! Oh god, that's allowed Harris, and he's got early. He's got a 2.5 jump. Oh no, he almost lost out of turn 18 coming out of Rabatza. So now is Duckett gonna have a look at his teammate? He's gonna go around the outside of his team principal, but he backs out of it. Maybe a wise choice. But is he gonna have another go into turn 1? Is there any team orders here? There is. He doesn't decide to go too wide. We've got a yellow flag, and that is 2 Red Bulls. But we'll focus back on. We'll watch Dogger and Bell. There's a big group of them here. But they've got away nicely from Rory Bates. The Williams of Hegro and Dogger going side by side. Oh no, he gets hit by Pavic. It's going to invite the Red Bulls to maybe have a look. Oh no, they've taken each other out. Bell and Dogger have taken each other out. They're both in the barrier. Oh no, I couldn't quite see whose fault that was. Maybe a snap of oversteers hasn't helped them very much. But now we've got Palmer, Vasilev and Masic. That train of 3 all fighting for maybe P5 on the grid. Is Vasilev going to have a go into the Variante Alta? He isn't going to. I'd say that's a wise decision from him. But is Masic going to be invited into this party with a mistake? Bates is going to look to close up to Duckett. He didn't have the best restart. Harris is allowed to drive away, and with that 5-second penalty, the Alfa Romeo suit is going to want to close up to him as much as possible. So, Duckett now closing up to the back of Lightning again. I wonder if one of these days we might see a move on his team principal, but I don't think we will. Bates is closing up to the back of them. Hegro and Pavic were fighting. It's now Pavic and Vicari. Side by side, a bit of contact made. Vicari squeezes himself, pushes the McLaren just off track. But Ducker, he's sticking with Lightning here, and he's not falling off the back. So maybe team orders to try and reduce the impact of that 8-second penalty. Oh, he runs off track there. Maybe a lapse in concentration, and that's going to allow Rory Bates or invite Rory Bates to come in. And he runs really wide through Minerale. Probably picked up a warning from that as well. Now Vasilev is really close and is going alongside with Sam Palmer, who forces him just off track. Still clean racing though, but I think he's got a much better run, and as they're going to approach the downhill section into Rabatza, maybe Vasilev's going to have a look to dive down the inside. Decides not to in the wet. That's probably a bit too risky. Dogger now picked up a 3-second penalty, but he's out of the point at this moment, so not going to do much harm. So now Rory Bates has been a second of Duckett. Not that we have any DRS, but I think it'll be comforting to him. And they're going to go side by side, Sam Palmer, and Vasilev is now ahead of Sam Palmer. They're still going side by side through turn 1 and 2, turn 3. Vasilev has finally got the move done, and Masic has got a much better run out of turn 3. Is he going to have a look at Sam Palmer, maybe into Tosa if he gets a good enough exit out of here? He gets a lovely exit. He's not close enough to have a look though. But Sam Palmer now closing up to the back of Vasilev once again. I think these guys are going to have a bit of a trade-off. Rory Bates still hovering around the 1-second mark to Duckett, who's shown some good pace but has slightly fallen off the back of his teammate. I think Rory Bates doesn't need to really move anywhere or do anything with Duckett's penalties. But of course, if they get removed, yeah, he's going to want to get past and make the move stick on track. So Vasilev looks to have more pace. Smith picks up a 3-second. Vasilev has more pace than Sam Palmer, it looks like, and is that going to invite Masic to maybe have a go at him into turn 1? Looks a bit too far to have a go into Rabatza. Rory Bates closer to Ducker, might be picking up a small bit of slipstream from him. Just see the Alpha in front of him, but that train of 3 cars is now somewhat spread out, and the grid is thinned out. So I think here, Will Lightning actually, crucially, he's fallen out of the 5-second window from Harris, of which he has a 5-second penalty. So that means he's not going to actually take the win unless he can find another 7/10 to put him back within 5 seconds. He's now fallen to 6 seconds. If we take a look at time penalties, yes. Try not to reveal too much information about the drivers, but there you go. There we are. Will drive faster. I think he's probably driving his heart out there to try and take the win on track, which I think would really make his day. But I think Harris just has too much pace. I think P2 is the best he's going to hope for right now. Duckett, unfortunately, is going to be rendered right down the grid with this penalty. Take a look at the gap to leader. Duckett's penalty is going to put him down into P9 as it stands. But that's of course subject to change. Harris now sets the fastest lap. Further extends his lead to 7.5 seconds in the space of half a lap. He's pulled out a 1.5 seconds. So now Bates is all over the back of Duckett, and he's going to go around the outside. He's getting the move completed before we go into turn 1. There is a yellow flag, and that is the Red Bull of Smith off. But Bates gets past, and Duckett picks up another 3 seconds as that happens. So Bates is now into the podium position. Is he now released to catch up to the back of Lightning? We've got Palmer and Masic. Masic gets past Palmer, and is Hegro now going to have a look as well? So we'll see if Rory has enough pace to close up. Is Vasilev now going to be fast enough to get around Duckett as well? Duckett needs to be keeping these positions. He's got too many penalties. Probably picked up another warning running wide there as well. We're right aboard with Vasilev through Minerale. He looks so much more confident going through there. Duck takes a bit too much curb. It's a small snap, bit wiggly. Rory Bates is closing up to the back of Will Lightning fast as well, so we'll catch up with that in a minute when he does get close enough. But it's Vasilev with what looks like a very healthy amount of ERS over Duckett. Is he going to maybe try and make a move here? He's got the ERS on, he's got enough to play with. Duckett, on the other hand, does not. He's draining it, and he's going to be flashing. Yes, he is. He's under 10%. So Vasilev is going to be looking to make a move. He's a bit too far back. A dive bomb here will not work, especially in the wet. But Duckett takes a bit too much curb. He's going to have a compromised turn 3. Vasilev gets on that curb a bit too much, but is he still going to try and move around the outside? He can brake a bit later. He can't. He's going to force Duckett into a compromised line, but he's a bit too far behind. Is he going to have a look into Toaster now? Ooh, what on earth happened there? Duckett is, as we can see on the wheel, he's only got about 4% of his ERS left, so regardless of the wet flashing, he hasn't got much ERS to play with, and he runs wide, and now Vasilev is going to have a go, and he's going to get the move done around Piratella, and he's going to be ahead by the time they get into Minerale. And is he now going to close up to the back of Bates? Bates is already catching up to the back of Lightning as well. So Bates now closing up to the back of Will Lightning. Harris setting the fastest lap once again. Sets a 1:23 now. So the track does look to be drying up. But as they head on to the last lap, it's going to be up to Rory Bates now to see if he has any pace to close up to the back of Lightning and potentially make a move. Does he want to force him into a mistake? He's got one more lap after this. It's lap 31. Harris is comfortably leading out there. It's a boring few laps for him, but luckily for us, we've had a nice bit of action further down. So I think Will Lightning's now going to have that Aston Martin closing right up to the back of him. It's right on board with Bates. He's very close. Dogger, his day's gone from bad to worse. Palmer and Masic fighting each other. Through Tosa side by side. Is going to invite Hegro to maybe try and make it 3 wide through Piratella. I think he's a bit more sensible than to try that move. They're going to go 2 wide into Piratella though, and Sam Palmer's going to get ahead as Masic backs out of that move. Not willing to go through that. But Rory Bates looked to have closed up to Will Lightning, but not as much as he would have liked to. I think it looks like Will is going to manage to hold on to this P2 position unless Bates gets a much better exit and makes a dangerous dive bomb. He's 3/10 back. Is he going to be close enough into Ravazza? Not quite. So he's going to have one lap. He's 4/10 behind it. Is he going to get the move completed? He needs a better exit. It looks dry now. The track is dry. So these tyres are going to be overheating. We've got a couple of drivers on slicks. And Rory Bates is going to go around the outside. He's got a Red Bull back marker in front of him. He needs to dive out the way. I think that's Smith. He does dive out the way. He's on slicks. But it is now dry. It's now a dry track, and they're on intermediate tyres. So I think we're going to see a lot of overheating here, which is not going to be it's not going to be the best thing. But on the final lap, Rory Bates has managed to get past Will Lightning and has put out a second gap already. So he's got some good pace on him. Bell made the wrong tyre choice and didn't pit. So yes, he is still on those wet tyres. But I think now the drivers just need to be careful not to spin here. It is completely dry out there. These Inters are going to be shredding themselves in this last lap. And Bates is closing up to the back of Harris by tenths a second. We got a yellow flag there. That's just looks like a back marker. Unfortunately for Ducker, I think he's got too many penalties. Picks up another one. He's going to be almost out. I think he's going to be out of the points with that. But we'll find Harris here. He's driven very well today. It was unfortunate for Best that he had not enough pace, but Harris is going to take the win here at Imola in Tier 3. And it looks to take the fastest lap. Well, that might be taken off of him by some slick runners. Rory Bates gets past Will Lightning here, just one lap a go. Will Lightning must be a bit devastated, but is still on the podium. Rory Bates takes a P2, which I think he will also be happy with. It's not that pole position that he had. Vassila P4, Masic P5, Palmer, Hegro, Duckett down to P8. Pavic ahead of him. Vicari on those Inters. It's going to come across the line. It's not been a great race for him. He is going to go down, stay in P10. Dogar they're all about half a lap behind. P3 for Will Lightning. Yes, it's a good day for the Alfa Romeo outfit. Unfortunately, Duckett's been placed down the order from a few penalties. But we don't know if that's going to stick. Vasilev, I think, is going to be my driver of the day at this rate. He's had a real stinker. Has have this entire race, but he's managed to recover to P4. And do we have a full British podium in Italy? I believe we do. So that is a sight to see. It's not Britain just yet, but if we can replicate that there, I'm sure there's no complaints. And the game even thinks Vasilev is driver of the day. I'm not one to disagree with that. So mega congratulations to Harris, Rory and Will, our podium finishers today. The Brits have conquered Italy. Yes, they have. Williams, Aston Martin and an Alfa Romeo. So they've got one Italian car up there on the podium. But yeah, Williams once again, they maintain their form. There he is, our P1 finisher today. Heads out onto the podium. So there are our final classifications. So Harris, Bates, Lightning are our podium finishers today, followed by Vasilev, a great recovery from him from P5 on the grid down to the back at the start. He's now recovered to P4. Well done to him. And unfortunately Luke Martin, the first DNF in the first few corners. But we will head out of here and head to our intermission, and then we'll get the interviews going. So I think that was a great race for us to watch. Unfortunately for them, I don't think it was as good. But yeah. So we'll wait for the drivers to head on over here, and we'll get our interview screen up. There we go. Oh, it's nice and set up for us all already. So is our race winner in here just yet? No, they are not. We'll give them a moment to see if they pop along. Otherwise, we'll see if we can get our P2 finisher up here. He's not here just yet either, which is a give them a minute. Otherwise, I think Will Lightning, our P3 finisher, will be more than happy to.
Alright, let's get the Alpha Romeo.
Oh
boy
yeah,
up here.
let's get them up there. That was a very good race from you, Will, and I'm sure you're very happy to have improved your position in the standings after a couple of the difficult races. So well done.
Maybe you'll.
Alright,
Rory pipped you
first of all,
last lap.
Hawkins, brilliant engineer,
Thank you.
did fabulously. Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of a boring race almost for some of it. Well, quiet, I should say.
Be quiet.
Um,
Don't say that.
Well, yeah, I meant quiet.
Can we get the
and
Alpha
then,
boys in here? Look at them. They're down there. See 'em?
We're getting
Okay,
every
I mean-
single Alfa Romeo driver. No,
Yes.
no.
Let's
Let's
get Skalski up.
let's just leave it. Oh God.
Let's go, Will.
Let's go!
Good job.
But yeah, with Rory, I know with the DRS, I was not expecting DRS to be enabled. That was my downfall. If DRS wasn't enabled, I think I would have kept the position, but yeah, the DRS, so fair play to him. And then it was Harris, P1. I mean, after that last safety car restart, he fucking zoomed. I have no idea where that pace came from. It was ridiculous how fast he was. So congrats to him for the win. There was a little bit of an incident with a back marker, which I'll probably review. But overall, good points. And I think Duckworth, you finished P4 or 5 on track.
Something like that. P5.
But I got a lot of penalties, which some of them will hopefully be removed. So overall, some very good points for Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, it was a great race. Rory managed to pip you on the last lap on the straight. What was it like running a dry track on intermediates at the end?
Well, it was only fully dry, I think, the last lap.
Last lap, yeah.
To be honest, I didn't mind so much. The only thing I minded about was the DRS being enabled. Like I said, that was what allowed Rory to get by.
Yeah,
but not much I could really do there.
But nevertheless, it was a great race from you, Ducker.
I
It was a good race. The penalties might have let you down there a bit.
my tires overheated so much towards the end. I got like 6 seconds for final 2 laps.
Yeah.
And Smith, my brother, obviously, trying to be nice, didn't work out.
Oh well, it was a good race. It was a double points finish, wasn't it? Even with the penalties, that's P8, I believe.
P8, P9, something like that, yeah.
And Will, I think Ducker crashed into you on the safety car, didn't he? Got a 5 seconds
No,
for that?
that safety car. I don't know why, but Harris really slowed down a lot. Caught us all off guard. And so it wasn't Doug's fault. I'm going to review it. I think it was the moment he slowed down was right as the safety car went in, so I don't know if his throttle kind of did that thing.
Oh,
Which
okay.
kind of made him slow down, but I don't know. But it was a very sudden slowdown, so luckily no damage. And unfortunately, Doug did pick up a penalty, so that should be removed. But yeah.
Well then, otherwise a great race from Alfa Romeo, and I'm sure you're a bit more happy than you have been in the previous races. So very well done.
Very much so. By the way, I've been told to tell you that Sam wants to come off at some point. So.
I don't think there was nothing stopping him. So
Well, no, it's just he's waiting his time. He's a good lad.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. Well, good job, Duck and Hawkins and Skalski for the moral support.
Moral support.
Guess that gifted sub
they've
from
they've been
running.
cheering you on in
Wait,
Twitch chat.
you gifted a sub.
Not yet. I don't have the money, and I will do it at next tier 1 race in Spain.
Oh, you're a beautiful man, Skalski.
Stuff to look forward to. But anyway, thank you, Alfa Romeo, and we'll see you guys in a bit.
Bye
Doi.
bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
See ya.
Right, let's just see if our race winner's here. Oh, Rory's here.
I don't think he's here. So. Oh no, he's here. He's here. Oh, fuck off.
I'll bring you
Yeah,
up in a
you can go.
second. Okay then. Is Harris here? Oh, you are. There you are. Change the profile picture. Hello.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a difficult race.
I could see that was enthralling from our point of view. I mean, you and Best had a race long battle until it was a really unfortunate ending for him. So
Yeah, I think you missed a move I made on the stream. I think Zervold had an incident at the same time. My engineer was saying.
yeah, there was a three-way battle going on at the same time. So I think we've missed that one, but stick it in clips, and I'm sure.
It wasn't very good. It was literally just. It was the only time I felt like it was safe to even make a move. It was as the track was dry and it was obviously getting easier to drive on.
Yeah.
And then obviously I got a 5-second penalty in the pit. So when that last safety car, I just had to trust my
your instincts.
Trust my throttle. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, otherwise it was a very good race from you, very consistent, and I think you drove very well to take the win today.
The only thing is, so for safety cars, and overtaking under a safety car, there was a point where there was me and Best had pitted, and we were coming up to, I think one of the Williams and I think it was maybe an Alpha, and they were literally just parked.
Yes, I did. I think we saw a bit of that. I think the deltas might have been messed up. We saw a Ferrari
Yeah, so
parked
they
on the
were
main
telling me
straight.
to overtake them, and I was like, I can't because then I'll get disqualified. So they
Yeah.
obviously they got 5-second penalty. So will they get removed? But then they served them. So how does that work?
I think once it's in tickets and we can get a visual view of all of it, then we'll decide from there. But this game's been excellent for some nice glitches and bugs to stuff a few drivers over.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit crazy that race.
Yeah, but I mean, you did very well. So yeah, congratulations, and we'll hope Williams keep their form, because I think you guys are you guys are leading the championship, aren't you?
I think so. After that, possibly.
Probably, but a strong showing. So congratulations.
Cheers.
Alright, let's see if Rory Bates is around. P3. I know he's eager to talk. There he is.
Let's go. Let's go, guys. P2.
We'll get a
Let's
reserve
go.
up here as well. Hello.
And
Well done.
P2 and P5. Like,
P2
what?
and P5. That is very, very well done from you guys. I definitely have no bias being an Aston Martin driver, but yeah, no, very well done to all of you. It was a very good drive. Last lap overtake on Will, satisfying.
A little bit, you know.
Little bit.
I was like the entire time. I was like, it's where I'm not gonna try and bottle it. I bottled it last race, so even if I get like a tiny bit behind him, I'm not gonna try and overtake him because it's not worth it. And then I got the DRS. I was like 5/10 behind him. I was like, do you know what? Fuck it. And she just sent it. I was just like, well, it's all or nothing. I said to her, no. I was like, fuck it. And we just went for it, and luckily it stuck. So yeah, P2, absolutely amazing job.
Yeah, no, mega congratulations. I think P2, if I might say, it was quite a lucky one that you didn't have the pace to keep up with Best or Harris in front. I don't think. I think we saw you drop off.
That was so quick.
So quick, too quick.
Literally, neither of us had any confidence in the wet at all. I mean, I got pole. I felt really confident in the dry, like around here. I was like, what, like 5/10 in front on pole?
Yeah, 3/10 ahead of Best, which is a commanding lap. So
yeah, but I was just like, I haven't actually done any of this. I haven't done Imola in the wet at all. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. And it was like 4 safety cars or something. So I didn't spin once as well. I kept it very like nice and clean and didn't try and spin at all to like drop off like any time. Had a few moments, but no actual instance.
yeah, well, I mean, well done. I don't think Masic is a Masic. Do you want to
Oh yeah.
give
Well,
us an insight into your
uh,
race, reserving for Aston Martin? But you managed to you had a bit of an
well,
up and down race. So
yeah. Well, it was going pretty good. Like on P5, like I'm really happy with that. Um, but like with the safety car, I was just driving green Delta, you know what I mean? And then it will just go away, and then I would be 6 seconds in red Delta, so I need to stop like 15 seconds or so, like
Yeah, no, I think the
in the
same
middle
has
of the
happened
track.
to like
it
loads of
was
people. I've had it a couple
it
of
was
times as
pretty
well. It was
broken this
stupid.
race. We had a few drivers stopping, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean
But
still.
we also had a two stop. Like I was going for the wet, like the rain was getting worse, and then it would just be clearing up. I don't know. So we just go to the inters again.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair enough. But yeah, big congratulations to you two. That was a very strong race and some good points.
Yeah.
Nice
Thank you,
one.
Jolly.
We'll see you in a bit. All right,
Okay.
we'll get the two up. But I'd also like. Oh, go on, Sam.
Oh,
Go on. Go on. Go on. Go on. Come on.
hello, Jolly.
All right then. How was that for you? Did you finish in the points?
Yeah, I did. I actually got P6.
Oh, you did well. Well done. You've
Yeah, it was.
Go on.
It was no, it was actually quite a fun race. I have to admit. The Delta was absolutely you know, it wasn't good whatsoever. Me and Vasilev had to keep on kept on stopping on the pit straight because of it. You know, decent midfield battle between like Vasilev, yeah, Music, I think that's his name. I don't know how you say it. You know, and some other drivers as well. You know, bit of a weird one happened with me and him. But I'll have to look at that. But it was decent. It's actually one of my sort of like most favourite races in Amethyst probably.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm surprised. Very surprised I didn't DNF considering my history.
mean,
So yeah, good
DNF
result.
champ. Yeah, I mean, well
Oh,
done. It was a good result. You had a couple of three-way battles. So
yeah, it was good fun.
yeah, great job. And
Alright, bye bye, Cartnut.
yeah, bye bye. All right.
Bye bye.
All right. We've been going for a while now, so we'll get you guys up quickly with your hands up. But also, if Best is up for a word.
Yeah,
Hello, Vasilev.
hello. I just want to say a big GG to all the guys. It was a good race, personally. I really liked how all of us were struggling with grip, but somehow we managed, so we had a bit of fun. Also, yeah, I just wanted to clarify something for Harris. We had, with Palmer, I think we had like a 13-second delta every time we passed the straight, like the pit lane. So
it was
yeah,
really broken.
yeah. So yeah, just wanted to add a GG to all of you, and yeah, it
Yeah.
was a nice lobby.
Congratulations. I think this consensus is your driver of the day. Great recovery.
Thank you, thanks so much.
Nice. Well done. In a bit.
Cheers.
Right. I will bring you up in 2 seconds, Pavic and Vicari. But I'd love to just grab a word from Best because that might have been one of the most unfortunate incidents I've seen in a while. How are you doing after that one?
That one's difficult to swallow.
I can
We were on to have an awesome race,
I can
Alex
imagine.
and yeah, I honestly don't even know what happened. It wouldn't let me save the replay, but yeah, it sounded like the delta was off, and it was almost like a desync as well, because I
Yeah.
just instantly was in the back of the car in front of me with
I think-
terminal damage. I couldn't even move.
I think we caught it on stream. I think one of the back markers tried to let you guys all through, and then the driver in front of you got an illegal overtake, so he slowed, you slowed, and then someone behind didn't react in time and might have piled into the back of you guys. So really unlucky one, because I think you definitely had the pace to win that race today, and it was looking very likely as well.
We had a good race on. I mean, we I think made a mistake going to wets on the pit.
Yeah, I
But
think
then have the safety car, which was able to get back on the intermediate, which was the right tire to be on. So with that mistake combined with the penalty that Alex had, it would have made for an interesting fight back to see how that would have ended. But it's how it goes sometimes.
yeah, I mean really unlucky, but I mean you had great pace today, so I'm sure that'll carry over for the rest of the season, and you'll come back stronger and put the points back on the board.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so, yeah. Alright, anyway, commiserations on today, but we'll see you soon.
Cheers.
Thank you. Right, we'll get Pavic up and then we'll get Vicari. How
Well,
was that?
I'll legit have like 2 sentences to say.
Okay.
It was very brief. Qualified like P14, I think. I have no clue. Pushed back to P8. Could have been better. Could have been worse. I'm happy with the points. Of course, Tier 3 was the first one to get a wet race. Everyone called it.
Yep.
I'd also like to. I'm gonna call a few people out, but not in a bad way.
Okay.
The 2 Haas drivers. Both of them were unlucky, but both of them drove well. And a
Yep.
special apology to Zerwell because I touched him a bit.
Okay then.
Get your mind out of the gutter, Jolly. Not
Okay.
that kind of touching.
Yep. Okay. So.
Alright, but yeah, good driving from everyone. Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay then. Thank you. And we'll get our last interview, Vicari. Hello.
Hello.
How was that race? It was probably tough for you to swallow that one. Hello? Vicari? Have I lost you? We can't hear anymore. Okay then. I guess if we can't hear, then we'll wrap it up for there. Thank you for watching. We'll be back on Friday with the Tier 1 race at I don't quite know where it is. It's Spain. We're here at Spain for the Tier 1 race on Friday, so be sure to tune in then at 7 p.m. BST, followed by the Tier 2 race and Tier 3 race at Sunday and Wednesday again. Till then.